the most underrated, slept-on quarterback of 2022, with a performance that has slipped right under the radar, leading a team that nobody projected to have a winning record. Never mind make the playoffs. It's time to respect Daniel Jones and what he has done for the New York Giants this 2022 NFL season. Because quite frankly, I never hear positives when it comes to this man, this quarterback, this leader. Daniel Jones is always disrespected and nearly never defended. So in this video, I'm going to break down what made 2022 his breakout season, his best season of his career, and why you should be a believer in Danny Dimes moving forward. Don't forget to Gronk spike the like button and let me know in the comments section below your thoughts on Daniel Jones' 2022 slept-on season. Let's begin this conversation by breaking down the numbers, because I believe that the stats show that Daniel Jones has been a game manager plus. Now, a lot of people think that game manager is a bad thing to be, but those people are wrong. What I mean by game manager is by having the lowest interception percentage in the NFL, which Daniel Jones has. He's protecting the football and he's playing complementary football. Quarterbacks that don't turn the ball over help their team win. Daniel Jones has also been one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, completing passes at an elite rate. His adjusted completion percentage is the best in the NFL among all starters. This year, Daniel Jones has posted his highest completion percentage and passer rating of his career. And when it comes to the clutch, Daniel Jones has been one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the game, consistently finding a way at the end of the fourth quarter to put his team in position to win. That's 4 fourth quarter comebacks. That's 5 game-winning drives. And this is where the game manager plus comes in. Not only is Daniel Jones protecting the football, but he's also making plays. He's in the top 10 converting first downs by throwing the football. He's actually above Aaron Rodgers in that statistic. And then you have to discuss what Daniel Jones has not only done with his arm, but also with his 2 legs. Because he's one of the most dynamic rushers in the league, which makes defenses defend this offense differently. Again, game manager plus, protect the football, but also make plays. Daniel Jones is a player, a quarterback that defenses have to take seriously when it comes to him running the ball. Off of read option, off of designed runs, off of scrambles. Teams are now game planning the Giants offense. How do they contain Daniel Jones? How do they stop Daniel Jones from scrambling around, extending plays, and rather making throws or converting first downs via the legs? That is what Daniel Jones has really brought this season that has expanded this offense greatly. He's 5th in quarterback rushing yards this year with over 700. He's 3rd in touchdowns running the football, and he's also 9th overall in rushing first downs. That includes all running backs. He's in the top 10. Daniel Jones' season has been more than just protecting the ball, helping his defense, and playing field position. Daniel Jones has had standout performances, like an NFC Player of the Week in Week 7, like a performance where he was the first player in Giants history to have 200 passing yards and 100 rushing yards in a game, and the first Giant to have 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns since like 1946 or something like that. Daniel Jones has not been perfect. He's not the MVP of the NFL. There's certainly nits that you can pick about Daniel Jones, and this is why he's never been taken seriously as an MVP candidate, because quite frankly, I believe that a roster like the Giants, being probably closer to the bottom tier of the NFL than the top tier of the NFL, you would look at the quarterback and say that might be an MVP candidate. A lot of credit has gone towards their head coach and their coaching in general, Brian Daboll, the defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. It really should. Daniel Jones has definitely benefited from the coaching, and you see that clearly from his performance last year to this year. I'm not saying any different, but Daniel Jones has been awesome, and I feel like a lot of people don't want to give him this credit. That being said, I do think you can say certain things about Daniel Jones when it comes to a lack of big-time throws down the field. But personally, if people are saying that, it's only really because the receivers of the Giants kind of limit what Daniel Jones can do. The receiving core for the Giants has actually limited the upside statistically from a passing standpoint for this offense, which makes Daniel Jones on this team and the contract they give him and his future as a Giant extremely interesting to me. Personally, I believe that they should sign Daniel Jones. I think that they should pay him about Ryan Tannehill money. And I believe that they should do this because Daniel Jones is a quarterback that is accurate, is tough, is competitive, mentally, physically tough in the pocket, takes hits to make throws down the field. He consistently drives this team forward. You can tell that they believe in him, that he's the alpha dog, and he really is the engine of this offense along with Saquon Barkley. The legs of Daniel Jones, the legs of Saquon Barkley, that is what opens up everything for this offense. It's not that they have a great number one wide receiver that takes attention away from a defense. It's not the offensive line that is just dominating the line of scrimmage in the pass and the run game. No. The reason the Giants do score points and do win games is because Daniel Jones is effective with his legs, and that takes attention from a defense. Saquon's explosive ability as a runner takes attention from a defense. That opens up play action opportunities for Daniel Jones. That sets up these receivers to have success in space off of play action and therefore gain yardage off of those designed plays from Brian Daboll. That has been the engine of this offense. So you could say that Daniel Jones maybe isn't the most aggressive downfield passer. His yards per attempt is low. His ADOT is low. Whatever you want to say there. But I would counter that by saying, well, they have to play this way, not because of Daniel Jones, but because of what's around Daniel Jones. When you talk about the supporting cast of Daniel Jones, you're talking about an offensive line that has, yes, a very good left tackle. But besides that left tackle, pretty average guard play, probably below average center, and definitely below average right tackle play. The offensive line is not very good in a multitude of categories across the board. Whether you're talking about sacks, you're talking about pressure, Daniel Jones is having to overcome this, especially on third down, where he's having to make plays. On top of that, you're talking about a receiving core with guys that nobody's ever heard of, with guys that regularly were not in fantasy lineups this year. You're talking about Isaiah Hodgins, who was signed in the middle of the year because he couldn't make the Buffalo Bills. You're talking about Richie James, a number 4 wide receiver for the 49ers, like a couple years ago. Darius Slayton, who at best in his career has been a wide receiver 3. These are the top 3 options at wide receiver for the New York Giants here. There's no credible wide receiver, no credible tight end. The best receiving option is the running back. I mean, what does that really say about the supporting cast here? So he doesn't have a good offensive line. He has probably the worst receiving core in the league in terms of actual production, actual history of success. And we're not going to look at the quarterback and say, well, he's elevating everybody. He's making everybody better. He's playing his butt off, because that's what I look at. I see a quarterback that is playing really well, that is overcoming limited talent around him, that's making people around him better. I don't care about the system change. I don't care that he's had better coaching, because honestly, no quarterback in this league is going to succeed with terrible scheme, terrible coaching. We only see in today's age quarterbacks succeed, statistically especially, with good coaching, with a scheme that helps them succeed. You look at Patrick Mahomes with Andy Reid. You look at what Josh Allen was able to do with Brian Daboll last year and the year before. You look at quarterbacks like Mac Jones, who have struggled without Josh McDaniels when he left to the Raiders, and Matt Patricia being a disaster. You've seen how much better Tua has gotten with Mike McDaniel. There's examples all over the place with how teams use quarterbacks and how that benefits or hurts that quarterback. And I'm always the one to say, wait till they get competent coaching. I'm always the one to say, wait till they get a competent supporting staff, because there's always quarterbacks out there that are not fairly critiqued, not fairly criticized for their play, even though they have bad coaching, bad O-line, bad receivers. All these things Daniel Jones has had to put up with. Now he just has a bit of a better scheme here, and it's aided him to the best season of his career. So I'm looking forward to what Daniel Jones can do for the rest of this season, moving into next year, and I believe he should be the Giants quarterback. If the Giants can support him with a little bit better on the offensive line, a little bit better at wide receiver, I would expect a little bit better in terms of production. And I believe that Daniel Jones is a quarterback that you can win with in the NFL today. So I just wanted to shine a light on Big Danny Dimes, because I think he's had a very underrated, slept-on year for the Giants, for the team that I called the slept-on team of 2022. It just sounds about right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Gronk, spike the like button. Subscribe for more. Peace.